Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you have not already subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe it. The link is already available in the screen. Today's video is all about CloudFormation, a very introduction to CloudFormation. CloudFormation is kind of a infrastructure as code that AWS provides to build infrastructure through the help of code. It's a big topic, but this video is all about giving you an introduction of what CloudFormation is all about and how does it works. So CloudFormation is an infrastructure as code service that can create, manage, and remove infrastructure in AWS through code. It can be used with the help of JSON or YAML templates. JSON and YAML templates are very popular templates for Kubernetes or some other purposes, or even JavaScript uses JSON very heavily, and for the Kubernetes or deployment purposes, YAML is becoming very popular. CloudFormation is best suited in case we want to deploy the same infrastructure again and again. So for example, if we want to build up a kind of a EC2 instance and spin up a machine in AWS, we can create a template and then we can save it in the AWS in the form of a stack, and then probably we can run it again and again. Why this is important? Because it would be like very beneficial for us to deploy the same infrastructure with the similar configuration over a period of time and in the same philosophy. So it means whenever you want to exactly deploy the same EC2 machine, you can just use that infrastructure as code, and you don't have to go through all that AWS Console method, and you can just use that stack and click buttons to just deploy the same machine. CloudFormation can be used to deploy EC2 instances, S3 buckets. We are going to have a demo of S3 buckets, how to deploy through CloudFormation in this video. And we can create up to 200 resources through the help of CloudFormation. This is the basic template that you would see or use in case you are going to use the CloudFormation. There are two kinds of templates as discussed. One is the JSON based and one is the YAML based. JSON based is more like a key and a value pair. YAML is more like a more readable and without curly bracelets or something like that. So it's depending upon us what we are comfortable with. But in this example, in this video, we will be using a JSON format to actually demonstrate how to use a CloudFormation. The CloudFormation primarily has three basic ingredients. The first one is the template, which we have already discussed. Template is like where we define all the resources or exactly like what we really want to do with the CloudFormation. So the template comes in JSON or YAML format, so we can use that. The template then is further used by AWS to create a stack. A stack is a kind of like a repository in AWS, which actually maintains, okay, you pulled up this template and this was all the logical resources that needs to be created, and then AWS actually reads from the stack and then creates the necessary physical resources in the AWS. So stack is actually created in the AWS and it is based upon a template, and we can add or modify a stack. So it means if I'm going to remove any existing item, it is going to delete my item from the AWS, or a resource is going to be deleted. And if I add something onto that particular stack, it is going to create a new item in that particular stack. And the physical resources is the third integral component of the CloudFormation, which actually is built up with the help of a stack. So let's say if we want to create some buckets or S3 buckets in AWS, so we create a template, we define the stack that helps to upload the template, and then a stack is created, and then the stack is actually like executed in the AWS to create the physical resources, that is the S3 buckets in AWS environment using that particular stack. I think so it's more like a theory, and once we have an actual demonstration, it would be more beneficial and more helpful to you, and you can see the exact things in picture. Let's have a demo for CloudFormation. So in order to create an S3 bucket through the help of CloudFormation, the first thing what we need to do is we need to work on the template. And in this example, we are going to use a .json file, which we would use to create two buckets on the S3. The template given by the CloudFormation contains so many of keys and value pairs, but one of the most important and which is the mandatory aspects of the templates is the resources part. So resources is exactly like what you want to really create with the help of the CloudFormation. So I'm giving two kinds of resources. They are exactly the same, just the names are different because I just want to create two different buckets on S3. So this is the key, and then I am having a sub object or a JavaScript object in which I'm defining a type as a key, which defines like what kind of a resource I want to create. It's an AWS S3 bucket, and then I have a properties key, and I can define some properties relating to that bucket, like bucket name or some other properties. So similarly, I want to create another bucket, which is rd bucket learn 2, and I give some key, value, pair, and everything. So this is a very simplest kind of a CloudFormation template you would see, just in order to make things more simple. We are just using this one, but if you go for EC2 instances or other one, you would see quite complex CloudFormation templates, but essentially they work on the same principles. It's just like what kind of attributes or properties you really want to set for those resources. Okay, so in order to use this template, we need to go into the AWS. So we go into the AWS Console, we sign in into that. I'm using my root user account, which is not a recommended practice in the production, but for the demonstration purposes, it just serves my purpose. So once we are logged in into the AWS Console, so I can just show you that right now I don't have any S3 buckets. These are all empty, so I don't have any bucket over here. And if I show you in the CloudFormation, so you don't have anything right now. I don't have any stack. This was the thing which I was talking about, like stack is exactly created, kind of a repository which is created from the template. So the first thing what we need to do is we need to create a stack over here. So it has like prepare stack, the one of the things whether the template is ready, or use a sample template, or create a template in designer, like you can design it over here. So I say yes, the template is ready because I've already created my file, small JSON file with two buckets I want to create, and specify a template. So the template source can either we can read it from the S3 bucket if it is already there, but because I'm going to upload a template, so I'll use that and then choose a file. So once I choose it, so I'll say I'll pick up rd demo, open up, and then I can view in designer like what exactly that is, but if I'm particularly sure about it, it's a very simple file, so I'll just go into next. The second thing what I need to do is to give a stack name. So let's say I'll keep it as a rd bucket stack, just like a stack name we need to give it. We have some parameters to provide some input custom values to that, we can give that, but I just want to keep it very simple. We move on to the next one. You want to give some kind of a tags like key value pairs or permissions. You can specify some roles which can have permissions on this. You can have a stack policy, no stack policy, enter kind of a policy, or another policy that defines like unintentionally or intentionally we don't want to update any kind of a resource in that. There's some kind of a rollback configuration, a notification options for us, like once it is completed we can have some kind of an SNS topic that can be tied up and it can send some kind of an email or some kind of a notification to us. And then the stack creation options, like you want rollback on failure, yes, you really want to do that. Timeout, like if it takes more than 1 minute or 2 minutes, and termination protection prevents the stack from being accidentally deleted. So these are the basic things which we just want to keep it as the default options. And then I say next, and then it gives us a review of all the current stack, what it is exactly. It's all about what we have selected, and if we are all good to go, so we simply say create stack. So now it pulls up that JSON file and it starts creating. It gives us the hints in all the kind of a status in the events. We can keep on refreshing, and then it says create in progress, initiated, and then yep, it looks timestamp is being given, and you can see what is exactly happening, and we can see the stack info for the time being. You can see the events, and yes, finally it is create completed. So it is the logical IDs which are there, which comes from the template that we provided RD demo, and keys and values, and then it has all been done. So now if we really want to see whether those buckets have been created, we can just go on to the home page of the AWS and then go on to the S3. So if we see, our two buckets would be, yes, the bucket learn 1 and bucket learn 2, they have been created. And there would also be a template which is kind of a bucket. It's automatically created for us, and in this bucket there is a kind of the RD demo JSON particular template file that's available to us. So that's by default loaded. So you can see we just used a template and then we just created it and created two buckets with the help of our cloud template, and we can use it over again and again. So one of the other things which I want to talk about is that the CloudFormation stack is already saved for us. So this is the name which we provided, that is RD bucket stack. So if I select this stack and I say delete, remember all the resources would also be deleted based upon what kind of a retention policy we have. But if it is not, we are not specifying that retention policy. So if we delete this particular stack, it is going to delete all the physical resources that were created. And in our case, we had two resources, and those were to the S3 buckets. Now let's say we want to update the stack and let's say edit the use the current template, or let's say we just want to remove this bucket, that is the RD bucket learn 2, and we'll just save this option. Okay, so now one of the bucket we have removed and one of the bucket is already there. So now let's go into the use current template, replace the current template, and we say upload a template file. So we choose a file again, we give that file again, open, and we say next. There are no parameters, next, some basic information or some stuff which is being asked, next, and review it, and probably we just want to update the stack. So it just starts off, it's initiated, because now you will see it's an update, it's not something, and the update is complete because now we just deleted that and we updated the stack with the new JSON template file. So it should be updated, and the only thing updated is that is one of the buckets has been removed. So in order to verify that, we go back to the AWS home, and then we go on to the S3, and then we check up, yes. So the RD bucket 1 is there and the RD bucket 2 is gone. So if you see, one of the things which we removed is already like being updated in the stack was updated, and then it tried to remove the resources which was already there or which was not there. So there are two options which you can do. One is to add the resources through this, or one is to delete the resources through this. The update of the resources is not possible through CloudFormation. If it is possible, it's like kind of a difficult one, because how do you really want to update and what kind of things you want to update? That's beyond the scope for this particular video. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. This is a very basic introduction to the CloudFormation that helps you to automate your infrastructure as code. You want to deploy EC2 machines, you want to deploy buckets with the same configurations over, or you want to deploy some another services. You can use CloudFormation. You can go on to the AWS CloudFormation help. They'll give you the templates. They'll give you the standard templates to push on EC2, to push it into a kind of a VPC or a security group or some other things, and then you can like modify those templates to suit as per your needs. Thank you all for watching this video. I hope you all of you do like this video, and I'll be eager to receive your comments and reviews on this video. Hope to see you soon. See you soon again, and have a great day, everyone. Thank you.